My sister refused to admit she was lying, even when a lie finally cost our whole family everything. My sister Delaney had been lying her entire life. Not little things like, I already brushed my teeth. I mean elaborate, load-bearing lies she'd defend to her last breath. At 16, she told everyone she'd been signed by a modeling agency in Milan and begged our parents to send her. She printed fake contracts, posted edited photos, even faked calls with her agent. It fell apart when mom phoned the agency and learned it was an online boyfriend she'd never mentioned. At 18, a boy turned her down, and 3 days later she was telling people he'd wronged her, until we found her on her phone bragging about how convincing the story was, and we reported it before an innocent kid's life got wrecked. Somehow, Delaney decided we were the ones betraying her. The lying never stopped. It just got more ambitious. For the past 4 months, she'd been telling everyone she was studying abroad in Seoul, learning Korean. And this time we half believed her. She posted photos at real landmarks. She sent pictures with a host family. She practiced Korean on video calls with our parents. Last Saturday, she came back for a surprise visit. That night, she was in the kitchen when our family's whole financial life quietly detonated, and she was standing right at the center of it. Here's what none of us knew. 2 months earlier, our dad had put Delaney in charge of one simple thing: depositing the checks for the family business he ran out of the house, because she'd sworn up and down she was handling the accounts remotely from Seoul to stay involved. He trusted her. He even bragged about how responsible she'd gotten. That Saturday, a supplier called the house furious about 3 months of missed payments. Then the bank called. Then the landlord for Dad's small warehouse. The account was empty. Every deposit Delaney claimed she'd made, the screenshots she'd sent, the confirmation emails, none of it was real. She'd been pocketing the money and mocking up the receipts, the same way she'd once faked modeling contracts. Dad stood in the kitchen holding his phone, going pale as call after call came in. "Delaney," he said, "where's the money from the Henderson account? You told me you deposited it. You showed me the confirmation." She just stood there, frozen, doing the thing she always did. That half second where you can watch her decide whether to lie again. "Delaney," Mom's voice cracked. "The business account is at zero. We're about to lose the warehouse. Where is it?" "I moved it to a high-yield account," Delaney said smoothly. "To earn interest. It's safer there." "Then transfer it back right now," Dad said. "Show me." She couldn't, because there was no account. There never had been. She kept spinning it. New bank, pending transfer, a hold, a glitch, layering lie on lie in real time, while our dad's business, the thing he'd built over 20 years, came apart in front of us. It was my little brother, of all people, who ended it. 6 years old, he wandered in holding Delaney's phone, which she'd left on the counter. "Delaney's phone is in a different language," he said, confused. He held it up. Her screen wasn't in Korean, it was in Bulgarian, and the open chat wasn't with a host family. It was a running thread with a man, full of transfers, money moving out of our family into her, in a country she'd sworn she wasn't in. She'd never gone to Seoul, she'd never taken a Korean class, she'd flown to Bulgaria to live with a man she'd met online, and she'd been draining the business she was supposed to be safeguarding to fund the life she was hiding. The room went silent. For the first time in her life, Delaney had no lie left because a 6-year-old was holding the proof in his hands. Dad sat down at the kitchen table and put his head in his hands. Mom cried. Delaney cried too, but even then, the first words out of her mouth were, "You're twisting this. It's not what it looks like. We didn't lose the warehouse in the end." Dad worked out a plan with the bank and slowly clawed the business back over the next year. It was brutal, and it aged him, but he did it, honestly, the way he does everything. Delaney went back to Bulgaria. She still insists, to anyone who'll listen, that she was framed, that we're jealous, that none of it happened the way it did. Her stories are as detailed and as confident as ever, but the family stopped believing them. That was the real ending, not a dramatic confession, because she never gave one. Just all of us finally, permanently, refusing to hand her the benefit of the doubt she'd spent a lifetime spending. The liar didn't change, we did. And a 6-year-old with a phone in the wrong language is the reason we finally saw it.